Hello, everybody. Welcome to this recorded Monday edition on this. Let me make sure I got this right. 13th day. We're sitting at 13th day of April. We're sitting about 10 days from the NFL draft here. When I come back, I'll do a quick update announcement on the NFL draft. Roy McIlroy starting to show some consistency. Going back to Tiger Woods, in my opinion. NBA still slipping in ratings as the ratings have the regular season's come to an end. The play-in games will start this week. The playoffs will start this weekend. Also, there's a Ruben Bain story here. Is off the field incident from 2024 I'll talk about as well. The ABS system, I first got a chance to see that this weekend. Got a take on that. And, of course, Don Rossini back in the news. Athletic doing an investigation now on that story with the photos of Mike Grable. So stand by. We'll take our first and only break. I'll be back here momentarily, and we'll hit the ground running here on the Real SportsSkope. Hello, SportsSkope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and SportsSkope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then. So listen, on the NFL draft show is going to be one of the best shows I've ever, if not the best show I've ever put together and hosted. Myself and Matt New Yorker will be hosting this particular show on draft night, Thursday, the 23rd, at the start of the NFL draft. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Julian Murdick, Mr. Murdick, 3-star player here out of Nashville. Going to have him on the program. He's going to come in. Jason Patterson. Murdick's a quarterback here, by the way. Get his take on the Titans, get his where he's at in his career, and we'll get a few draft takes from him as well. This is going to be a great show. Jason Patterson, Picture Nation, covers the Chiefs. He'll come in 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after the Chiefs pick at 9. So those are the guests locked in. Of course, Coach Kevin Carroll, who's been on the program before, will be in before Tennessee picks at 4 and after they pick, a few minutes after they pick. So looking at possibly adding a few more guests. If I can squeeze them in, we're going to stay the whole first round. So check that out. I'm going to try to promote that more as we get closer to the NFL draft. I'm really excited about that, folks. Okay, now, all right. There is, Roy McIlroy. Listen, I remember when he went on a little bit of a tear back in 2014. This is when, Tiger Woods started going through his injuries and whatnot. I want to say he won two majors back in 2014. I thought, is he going to be the next? Is he going to be not necessarily the next Tiger Woods, but a guy that's going to be as consistent? You can watch every major and see if he can be in the money, kind of like a Woods was from 97 to say a 2008 or so. And even the threat of him coming in and making runs after that, Tiger Woods era. And the guy fell off after that. I don't know if he got too caught up in the fame of being on the big circuit or whatnot. Did not see him for years. I mean, that until last year. Remember, he wins the Masters back in last year, of course. Then you got other guys like Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth before him. Is he going to be the next Tiger Woods? You look and look and look, and there was never really a guy that's going to be that consistent to the level that Woods was at this game. It tells you how hard the game really is. Now, I think McIlroy is now in his prime. He's settled down now. He's not folding. He got behind at one point. That was a stupid there's some kind of I don't know, what do you call it, a fallout, a disagreement with the local station owners here in Nashville and Xfinity. And I didn't get to watch none of it this weekend. Really ticked me off. I followed a little bit on the phone. I'm not a huge golf guy anyways. But either way, the guy comes back. He wins late and has got 2 in a row. I'm going to say the 4th ever to do that, to win back-to-back. Very difficult to do so. Kudos to him. Let's see if that we can start seeing some more consistency out of these modern golfers post-Tiger Woods era. I doubt it, but he's getting a little closer. This dude, and he's been playing well. He's finished strong in some other tournaments leading up to this. I've seen that as well. So, anyways, kudos to him. That was my big observation from that. Okay. And the NBA, listen. The NBA is – the regular season came to an end. The ratings – let me make sure I got this right. The ratings are down 2%. That's the lowest since the pandemic season of 2021. Remember, pandemic came in 2020, but the next very next season is you're still in the pandemic season there in the 2021. This is the most criticism that I've heard of the NBA since I've been really following. Now, I know in the early to mid 80s, up to the mid 80s, I want to say that the NBA used to be on tape delay. The ratings were so bad. Then you had the Bird Magic thing, Celtics, Lakers. That kind of got the NBA back on track. They started putting the games live again in the playoffs. So, yeah, they were having it on tape delay. Unbelievable. But they used to be on tape delay. And now, since the season, it's the least I've ever watched of it. I haven't given up on the NBA, although it does. My interest seems to deteriorate a little bit more as the year goes on, especially with tanking, low management, the commissioner not doing anything about political venting and ranting and stuff, and it's just a lot of too many threes. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff in there, But this is the most criticism I've ever heard of it. Also, there was a report out that their salary cap will be about $1 million off, less than projection because of this lack of local revenue. Colin Cowherd, he reported that he didn't report it, but I heard him say it per se, that the one out of every three marquee games, a star player misses as far as like national TV game and whatnot. So you're at 33%, so it's just the lack of not care, lack of accountability to organizations, lack of accountability to players. Now that's changing, the 65 game thing. The players are really pushing themselves to get through that. But it's still they still got some work to do in the NBA. I do think, and I said this before with Matt New York, I want to say over the past few weeks, that guys like Victor Wembanyama really care about winning. I think this is his first playoff. Him and a strong rival with the OKC Thunder, and still a pretty good fighting. Denver's got a good chance to win this thing this year, by the way. They're getting hot at the right time. They're the best they've been in a while. That storyline with them and these young upcoming players, the Cooper Flags of the world, young class, very talented, one of the more talented rookie classes in years. I do think the future's bright when new rules will get implicated. I do think they got a few other things to work on. Okay. I've mentioned that before, but I do think the ratings will come back per se. Even if they got to fire the commissioner, I don't know if they'll do that, the owners, but I'm starting to see now the bottom line's starting to hurt because of the salary cap. So we're starting to see some decline there in the ratings. Like I said, lowest since 2021. The problems, you've got Barkley on a big platform there. Your Stephen A. Smith, big platform, both really coming out hard against the NBA. And usually the sycophant guys that are always, hey, NBA's never wrong, they're starting to come out against it. And now you're starting to see the bottom line hurt. So I do think, like at baseball, which I consider dead for years, there was like 15 years. I mean, I just didn't watch that much baseball. This weekend, I did, did get a chance to see a whole game all the way through. Boston and one of the St. Louis games, I want to say they played the Fox on Saturday, per se. But as far as the NBA is concerned, I mean, these playoffs, I will watch the playoffs here. The ratings will take a hit. They will take a bump, obviously, the playoffs. But, the Denver-Minnesota series would be a good one. Minnesota's always seemed not to have the better record, but they always seem to get the better the last few times they played in the playoffs of the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are a better team this year. I do think they'll beat them, but, man, that'll be a good one. Can the Knicks get back to the finals? What will Wembanyama look like in his first NBA playoff there? Can the OKC Thunder repeat? That's a storyline. Can the Knicks get back? Can the Knicks actually get back to the finals? First time, I want to say, since 1999 when they lost to the Spurs that year. If they get back to the finals, they match up really well. I mentioned that before with the San Antonio Spurs, are 3-1. This was supposed to be a write-off season with Jason Tatum's injury with Boston. But, hey, listen, he's healthy now. And Jaylen Brown played at MVP level. We'll see who wins this MVP. To really get them in motion now. We'll see how Boston finishes. Kate, to get it back and let people know, hey, listen, we won a few years ago. We want to win again. Let's see how that's going to be an interesting storyline. We'll definitely talk it in here in the playoffs. And I do have some faith that things will come back in the regular season. Okay, now, speaking, let's go with, I mentioned the ABS system here. Baseball has went with, they put the pitch clock in, was huge. They've eliminated shifting. The games are much, much faster pace. I still say that they should start the season earlier, and get more credible games, more sense of urgency games in the month of July and August. Get the playoffs done before football really gets going. I know it'll overlap some around Labor Day and everything, but the World Series shouldn't be in October, November. The weather starts changing again. It's too long. But that being said, man, this ABS thing is really cool. I like the way it's set up here. It's quick. This is something the NFL should take notice. I did record this after watching a little bit of game on Saturday between the Red Sox and the Cardinals. Watch it.
Okay, folks, watch how quickly these ABS challenges come in. This is nothing like an NFL challenge.
Think here. After going 0-2, he's thinking in. See if he goes away. Goes right back in.
And he hits the ball strike, although Briez wants another first-inning challenge.
This one earlier. This one's worth the challenge mainly because it ends the inning versus it keeps the inning alive, which is good.
Coming with 2 challenges, you get to retain the challenge if it is correct. You only get 2 opportunities to get it wrong in a game, and so far 2 for 2 in the Cardinals.
It's like 30 seconds.
Yeah, the whole clip there was 47 seconds. You get 2 challenges. You retain 1 if it's correct. That whole clip was 40-something seconds. It was really about 30 seconds if you just look at the challenge and the fact they gave. Could you put this in for NFL being a catch? Yes, the NFL money is not an object. They could definitely get more cameras. Was the guy's knee down? The average NFL challenge is 2 to 4 minutes, sometimes 3 to 4, and in some of these plays it can go up to 10 minutes. I've seen it. What feels like 10 minutes in 4 minutes in TV time is huge. We don't need all that. Referees going under the cape and all that. You just got the and I know they do it for first downs and everything. They're going to get there, but the NFL needs to look at that, something like that, for all these, what's a catch, what's not a catch, is this guy foot out of bounds and everything. I think, man, 30 seconds versus 4 minutes, You need tempo in these games. A lot of games being played. A lot of people spending their time and money of a day watching in 2026. Take note, NFL. I really like it. Kudos to Major League Baseball. I thought, man, challenging pitches, that'll take forever. Well, tap your helmet. The camera's got it. It's digital. Boom. There you go. System's perfect. It was a ball. All right. And, of course, Boston went on to win that particular game. All right. Now, moving right along, there's a story. Now, I've been high on this guy, Ruben Bain, edge rusher out of Miami since earlier in the offseason. The big story really in this draft season and him having the short arms, his stock is going to drop. But a lot of people say it, and myself included, man, you just watch the film on him. He maintains a run really well. He can get to the pass. He's strong. Kind of reminds me like a James. I know Harrison lined up everywhere, and he's a bigger player, but kind of reminds me of a James Harrison, the way he can just push people out of the way with his strength. He's very agile type of player here. But there's a story that came out this weekend of him being in a deadly car accident when he was a driver, and a woman that was in the car with him, it's like 4 passengers or something. She got in a coma during an accident, and she died. I'm thinking of myself, this guy played, and I just mentioned it just now, 4 years or 3 years for the University of Miami. And this incident happened in 2024, folks. It's 2026. We're 2 weeks out from the draft, and now the media is just now reporting on this. What is the media doing down there? What is the student campus newspaper, which I reported for Austin Peay? What do they do? Why do they report that? Are you just covering up for the players? Brad Holmes, general manager of the Detroit Lions, I think they picked like 17 or something, said that he was aware of the incident. So apparently the general managers are aware of this incident. The woman's family says, hey, listen, by the way, he was never technically, he was charged, but it was dropped or cited. He was cited for something. I don't know if it's speeding or whatever, but the charge got dropped. He basically wasn't cited or anything. The family of the woman killed, has basically forgiven Ruben Bain. They said they wish him the best, but it tells you about the laziness of the media there and in around the country. This guy plays for a major university. He's going to be a really good player, and it just now gets out 2 weeks before the NFL draft. This happens a lot here. Now, a lot of these stories do get out. I know Jalen Carter's story was out there when he had a similar incident where someone died, and now he did get in trouble for leaving the scene of the accident and whatnot. And I think he lost his license for a year, but he did fall a little bit. He did fall a little bit in the draft, went to the Eagles, I want to say at 9, one of the better overall prospects in that particular draft here. And now he's looking to possibly get a second contract with the Eagles pending something else doesn't come up, like a $40+ million contract. And, hey, listen, if his nose is clean, him being a defensive tackle, I would look at potentially keeping Jalen Carter and working out that contract. As far as Bain is concerned, I've read that maybe Dallas tries to move up in the draft. I've read that Dallas would be interested. Some have him going to the I want to say some mock draft suggests maybe they move up for Ruben Bain. I don't think Bain will fall past 12. Now, we'll be here live, and hey, listen, if he don't make it, he don't make it. But I don't think he'll fall past 12, which is Dallas has that pick in the NFL draft. I know they have upgraded. They got Rashawn Gary. They got him in a trade, but still they need to add on to that pass rush, Quentin Williams and everybody. They still want to get as much replacement for Micah Parsons as possible. Maybe Dallas can do something here. But my biggest take from that story is, how come this happens a lot where the players just, everything's fine and you don't hear nothing about them. Then 2 weeks for the draft, you start to hear something, a few daunting stories to get out in the public about him. It's lazy reporting, if you ask me. Or they're just covering up because he's a star player and don't want to report it. Like I said, I was a newspaper reporter for the Austin Peay paper, our star basketball player, and I can't remember the guy's name. It was over 20 years ago. But he got cited for marijuana in his dorm room, and campus police, I found it in the police report, reported on it. I want to ask his comment. He didn't want to comment. He didn't want me to run the story. Big guy, a little intimidating. When the story came out in our paper, I want to say that Wednesday of the week, there were many reports that I've gotten from my editor that he was throwing away the papers around campus, trying to cover it up. It was just such a funny story in a sense, that sense. The city newspaper of Clarksville picks up on it. They run the story. Then the state, the big paper, the Tennessean, runs a little bit blurb on the story just because of my just doing a little bit of footwork. But there was some pressure on me from him not to report that story. And quite frankly, he was a star player, but I had to do my job. I'm a hustler. I'm out here doing my job, man. I'm not a PR guy. I'm not a PR guy for the Austin Peay State University, nor that particular player. But anyways, I thought that was an interesting story there with Ruben Bain. I think he may fall because of the short arms and possibly this incident. I'm sure they're going to look more into him now. But I just, again, do not see him falling past 12. We're going to find out here in less than 10 days. I cannot believe the draft is already upon us. Okay, this Diana Rossini story, like I said, talked about with the Mad New Yorker on Thursday last week, that, hey, it's something. It's something, I'm not judging the lady. I just think it's not a good look for the Athletic. And apparently now it's out there now. I've been watching her timeline that she has been sidelined. I guess you want to say she's on some kind of leave. You want to call it a suspension, but they're doing an internal investigation with the Athletic on these photos with her and Mike Vrabel. If they find something, which is pretty much out there, cut and dry. Guys like Stu Gotts, who used to work with Dan Lebatard's show at ESPN, now has his own podcast network. He's already publicly said he would hire Diana Rossini. Colin Cowherd kind of just poo-pooed the story. He didn't mention it on his individual podcast. He hadn't said it, but he's friends with her. She comes on his program some. I'm pretty sure he would offer her a job at the volume. In a weird way, I think this is one of the better things that's ever happened to the lady. Now, I know that she's not seeing it this way now, but could cost her a divorce or whatever. But her name's getting out there. TMZ's reporting on it quite frequently throughout the week. The New York Post is reporting on it. Same as well. Awful announcing. She's getting her name out there. It's really starting to bounce around. Whether it's good press or bad press, she's getting more known out here. I don't think she'll be out of a job. I think somebody will give her a gig if the Athletic even lets her go for something like this. I'm curious to how to see the Athletic, which is owned by the New York Times. Of course, they've also reported on it. See how this plays out. I hope the best for her. I hope she learns a lesson from it. We all learn a lesson from it. Got to be professional there. Let's see how it plays out. Me personally, not really judging. We'll see what happens. But again, it's just not a good look. It's a bad PR look there. They'll both be married and whatnot. And, have the Patriots said anything? No, not yet. Has anything come out about Mike Vrabel? I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see about him and his personal life, Like I said, I really didn't care about this story, but there's so much interest. It'd be foolish for me not to comment on it because I know a lot of the mainstream media is not really they're not going to do panels for Fox or ESPN on it, but a lot of the podcasters are going to talk about it, per se. So anyways, that's this morning update. Hopefully I'll be back here Thursday with the Mad New Yorker. Listen, folks, I'm still working out some kinks in my schedule. Want to get back to doing the program more often during the week. Miss doing the program. Still doing some shuffling here with my schedule, but things are going to get better. People ask me, when are you going to be on the radio? Yeah, I do have, been working with an agent. We'll see how that plays out, buying some time on the radio. But at some point this year, we'll be on the radio sooner than later. And I'm looking forward to that opportunity as well, folks. So I'm going to be doing some new commercials, do some more marketing for the program. This program is going to be on its feet and better than ever. So, folks, stay tuned. And if you like the show, share the show. This will be, like I've said in the past, the most influential sports talk show in America. And I'm just now getting it out there, getting on my feet to do so and push it forward. So please follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thank you to all my Uber riders who are doing so, former co-workers, friends, old family that haven't saw in a while. Make sure to do that if you like the show, folks. So have a good week here Monday, and I'll be back here live on Thursday here with the Mad New Yorker here on the Real SportsSkope. Have a good one, folks.